Hey, it's Kate from Prenursing Smarter, and today we're going to do an English lesson for sentence structure basics. This will help you not only on the TEAS, but any college class where you have to write a paper. We're going to be building skills here, so if something doesn't stick right away, practice, practice, practice. Repetition will help build this. Let's go ahead and get started. So what makes a sentence? Every sentence must have a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. It needs all three. If it's missing even one, it's not a complete sentence. So the subject is the who. It does the action of the sentence, and it's usually at the beginning of the sentence. It's not always the first word. But it's towards the start. The verb is the action or the state of being. So in this case, must study. What the subject doing? And the complete thought is the what or the context of the sentence. What must I study? I must study for the TEAS. A sentence always has subject, verb, complete thought, or who does what. A subject is typically a noun or a pronoun. In this case here, it is the subject. And I've color-coded this sentence. It does the action of the sentence. It is the subject. What is it doing? It does. And what does it do? The action of the sentence. This is the complete thought or the context. So when it comes to identifying what the subject is, a lot of times it can be a person, place, thing, or idea. The subject can be a little tricky to find. We're going to practice with this, but one thing to know, particularly for the TEAS, is that subjects can be gerunds, and gerunds end in ing. These are kind of disguised verbs because you might think, oh, if it ends in an ing, it's a verb. Nouns that end in ings are called gerunds, and these are often activities or actions. For example, swimming is fun. Swimming is the subject of this sentence here. Swimming. Verb is. Complete thought. What is swimming? Fun. Swimming here is an action or an activity. Subjects can also include a prepositional phrase. Swimming in the ocean. Our simple subject here is still swimming, but now we've added a little more context with this prepositional phrase, swimming in the ocean. It's still an activity. And grammatically, the swimming is the subject, but you'll notice that the verb is showing up a little bit later in the sentence, and it's still fun. Right now, just keep in mind that this in is a preposition, and there are other prepositions, and they can complicate sentence structure. Now let's look at verbs. So a verb is a word that shows an action, like sleep, run, study, or a state of being, like is, was, or am. State of being verbs, good to know, they often are conjugations of being or to be. The verb is often easier to find than the subject because you're usually looking for one action or one state of being. If you can go find the is, the was, the were, for example, that's going to help clue you into what the subject is. If you're having trouble ever finding a subject in a sentence, try finding the verb first. Here, swimming in the ocean is the state of being. That's our verb. And what is it? Fun. Could be terrifying, could be cold, could be a lot of things, but in this case, our context or our complete thought is fun. Here's another sentence. The aliens from Mars invaded using ray guns. I've already shown you here, but this is the past tense verb, invaded. Then you can say, okay, who or what invaded? We have aliens from Mars, or just simply aliens as our subject. This from Mars is another prepositional phrase. And then how did the aliens invade? They invaded using ray guns. This is our complete thought. They could have invaded using bubble gum. But usually the verb is kind of in the middle. There's always exceptions to the rule, and it's sandwiched between the subject and the complete thought. So let's talk about the complete thought right now. The complete thought is the rest of the sentence. It's the context that allows the sentence to stand on its own. It's the what or the how of the sentence. The big trick here with complete thought is what's called subordinating conjunctions. They are the easiest way to make a sentence not be a complete thought. Let's look at two examples here. We have our usual sentence here. Swimming in the ocean is fun. Swimming is our simple subject. In the ocean is the verb. And what is it? It's fun. So grammatically, swimming is fun is a complete sentence. Now, if we add in right down here, after swimming in the ocean, this after is a subordinating conjunction, and I don't know what happened after. Did aliens invade? Did I go get a hot dog or did I go get a margarita? I don't know, but I have no context. So this is not standing on its own. Here's another example. The aliens from Mars invaded using ray guns. Aliens is our simple subject. Verb invaded, past tense. And then how did they invade? Using ray guns, not bubble gum, not peace and love. It's ray guns. Now, if I add this subordinating conjunction because alien from Mars invaded, I don't know what happened. Did they bring new energy sources? Did school get canceled? I have no additional context for what happened. We're going to talk about these subordinating conjunctions as we go on because they're really important for the TEAS. So our general advice for tricky subjects here, the TEAS might try to trick you with subjects by disguising them either with prepositional phrases or with words between commas. And these will typically not contain the subject. So let's look at an example. In the class, with the students who would not listen, the teacher decided to give a pop quiz. So the who or what here, we have a teacher and we have students. Do you know which one the subject is? Finding our verb, we have a listen and a decided, so that's a little tricky as well. But we have these prepositions. So in the class, with the students who would not listen, comma. This is all introductory info that we can kind of grammatically ignore. And so now it becomes the subject is the teacher. The teacher decided, that's the action. And what did the teacher decide? To give a pop quiz. That's the context. So these prepositions and commas here are clues that you can ignore grammatically this information and it won't have the subject. Here's another example. The teacher who spent years working with students loved her job. Is the subject students or teacher? We have these commas here, which means we can probably ignore that the teacher did what? Loved. What did the teacher love? Her job. So grammatically, the teacher loved her job is a complete sentence, and we can ignore what's in between these two commas. You'll need to be comfortable recognizing prepositions, and you can probably ignore information between two commas. Keep practicing with this, and we're going to keep doing examples. And I have so many practice questions to help you with this as well. But keep this idea of prepositions and information between two commas as being extra and not grammatically necessary. This is also going to help you avoid traps with subject-verb agreement and pronoun antecedent agreement. Here are these sentences again where I've highlighted the clues of what you can ignore. And then I've blocked out the extra grammatical information. So you can see here, this extra information is separating the subject and the verb. And then this is all coming before the actual independent clause here. So you want to always cross-check, if you can, the subject, verb, and complete thought. Are they all talking about the same thing? The student certainly wouldn't decide to give a pop quiz, for example. That can help you make sure that you're picking the right subject, verb, and complete. Okay, now we're going to look at clauses. Clauses are groups of words that contain a subject and a verb. They don't always have a complete thought. So a complete thought is a maybe with clauses. Let's look at some examples here. Because they were late, when the test is administered, the president tweeted, "Your shoes are black." These illustrate two types of clauses. Do you know what they are? One type is the first two sentences, and the second type is the last two sentences. The first two are dependent clauses, and the last two are independent clauses. Let's look at this. You might see that we have some subordinating conjunctions, because and when. Because they were late, they is the subject, were is a state of being verb, and it looks like we have a complete thought because they were late. This late maybe, but this because cancels out the complete thought. Because they were late, what? I have no idea. Because they were late, we all ate chocolate. No idea. There's no context. This is not a complete thought. Similarly, when the test is administered, we have a subject, test or the test. We have a verb, little verb phrase here, is administered. But we have no complete thought. What happened? I have no idea. Because of this when, we have no idea what the actual complete thought is. Now, the president tweeted, the president is the subject. Tweeted is the verb. You'll notice I can't squiggle anything over here. That's okay. It's a simple statement. The president tweeted, and there's no mumbo jumbo over here to take away the complete thought grammatically. I'm not implying anything with a subordinating conjunction. The next one, your shoes. Shoes is the simple subject. Are a state of being verb. And what's their state of being? Black. This can stand on its own, so it is an independent clause. If they can't stand on their own without a complete thought, it's a dependent clause. Here you go again. These are dependent because of the subordinating conjunctions. Subconjunct, subordinating conjunctions. And these are independent. They can stand on their own because they have a subject, a verb, and a complete. To review here, the two types of clauses. An independent clause, it can stand on its own. It has a subject, verb, complete thought. And a dependent clause cannot stand on its own because it does not have a complete thought when it has a subordinating conjunction. A dependent clause always has a subordinating conjunction, and therefore no complete thought. So it cannot stand on its own. It depends on an independent clause in order to exist grammatically. Here are some examples of subordinating conjunctions. There's quite a few of them. These are some common ones. After, although, as, because, if, since, once, until, and when. Great to start memorizing these, getting familiar with them. Even if you don't know them all exactly by the time you take the TEAS, be aware that some words like this might be like, this might be a subordinating conjunction. I might need to go look for a dependent clause. This is a really great skill to learn for the TEAS and for life. I hope this helps you. Keep up the great work, and I'll catch up with you in the next lesson.